to the republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the War Room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back once again into Saturday afternoon, and we are tucked away in the War Room somewhere in the cold high desert of southern Idaho.
It's cold. I didn't know it was cold out there.
It's cold, man. Joining me tonight is the Cajun cowboy.
Hey.
And we got Jillyn.
Yeah.
And we have Jillyn.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hey.
She graced us with her presence. She has no females like this room. It's just nasty. There's spider webs everywhere, and it's just a bunch of guys in here. So
Yeah, but there's a lot of ammo. Me and her were plotting
man
on
cave.
I went in to get you some
the
water.
ammo.
And don't
Yeah.
be looking at that. Don't be giving my secrets away.
It's not a secret. It's a big old pile of it.
Huge pile.
That's okay. This is what I do Sunday mornings. I make ammo.
Oh, I'm talking about the new ammo.
Just get the hands off.
Right.
Hands off. That's going to
might have
cost.
snuck a bag.
I've got that for 75 cents a round. And that's what I'm going to sell it to you for. But I tell you what, I had a class this morning, or today. It was cold this afternoon. I'm handing out hand warmers, and people are like bundled up and they're in gloves. We kept having to stop because people couldn't feel their hands.
Good grief.
I know
It
was
is cold.
I had about 20 people signed up for the class, and I think just because of COVID and Christmas and everything like that, right? So it's December too, so about half the people showed up, which was fine. Small class is a good class when it's cold because you can move a little quicker. But they didn't get a break in between shooting.
In and out.
Oh.
Yeah,
Keep it moving, people. Keep it moving.
They stood up there at the table and they just kept loading, and they were like, they
hands are
couldn't
probably
feel their
freezing.
fingers, because if you've ever tried to load a magazine with gloves on, it's almost impossible.
You got to get one of the, what do you call them, the Ooplas or something?
Oop, what kind of gloves do you buy?
The reloader.
No, the reloader.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Come on now.
I don't use.
Come
guy.
on,
I don't.
come on.
I don't use a reloader.
When you're cold and you got
Yeah, I
gloves.
was going to say that would help out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
struggle using the reloader. Period. I don't care. I think that's why
I've never used it. Have you ever used it?
Oh, I use it all the time.
I have one. It's sitting there, but I'm like,
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and
it looks.
Well,
I see
and-
Hickok use it, and he just rolls with it.
I just bought a gun, and it came with one.
What kind of gun was that?
A Canic.
What? What?
Yeah.
Yes. I knew you'd
sweet.
like that. That was a little surprise.
That was
Already
a-
asked
yeah.
before you got here.
Yeah,
Did
we already
ya?
talked.
There was a guy in class today that had a Canic. I tell you, and I mentioned this before, but it's really funny. So people bring new guns to class, and that's fine. Go buy your gun, bring your gun to class. I mean, that's fantastic. But he had a Canic, and this isn't a knock on a Canic. This is a knock on any gun that's brand new that you've never cleaned. Is not when it is like 16 degrees out with the wind chill factor, because it was probably blowing 20 miles an hour, and it was probably like 26 degrees. It was cold out here this afternoon. And the Canics don't want to run in the cold. The new guns don't want to run in the cold when that oil or that packing grease starts to thicken up a little bit. I mean,
Good grief.
it'd come back and it'd stay out of battery. It was
I might have to come back and bring my Canic and try that out.
yeah.
When it's cold.
Come shoot, man.
anytime, right?
It was interesting watching people shoot in the cold today. They were wanting to just get it done.
When you come, I'll try and show up. I got
I was going to say.
an
come on over.
elite professional executive.
Janitor.
Yeah.
That's right. CEO. It's got the good one.
You love the trigger though.
I do love that trigger.
It's got the flat trigger on it.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So I got my VP9 2020. So get this. So maybe you know, maybe you don't know. I don't know. I'm going to ask. Isn't it like a rule or like a law or something that when you order a handgun, it has to show up somewhere in like 3 days? Is that? I
don't know.
I thought that was a rule, a law of some kind. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a gun dealer. My VP 2020 that I ordered, this has been like, it's been a little while.
I mean, they come through
They
UPS.
lose things.
Yeah, they sent it. It's on its way. It'll be here Tuesday, but it's set for like about 10 days. It's set for 10 days in Ohio, just sitting there.
I hate that.
And I'm just, what? Just
hate
put it
that.
on the truck. It's got to be in a box this big. You can't tell me you can't squeeze that on there.
I hate that. And so a lot of times it'll get to Salt Lake City and sit there. I'm like, and I'm refreshing. Come on, man.
Yeah, they sent me. I signed up for
I'll drive down to Salt Lake and pick it up.
I signed up for text notifications on where this gun was at, and they sent me one about 4 hours ago. They sent me, says it's going to arrive on. It'll be here on Tuesday. It's going to arrive on time. I'm like, on whose freaking schedule? You can't, I mean, in my eyes, it's late.
It's late.
Who's it coming through?
You know, I thought it was. I want to say it was UPS, but the notifications, and I'm gonna look here because you guys will correct me if I'm wrong.
Probably package trackers who send it to you. One of those guys.
Where is it at?
Doom, doom,
I'm looking, that's
doom,
right.
Doom, doom, doom.
Hey, look at my my Verizon bill is due by the 14th. I'm kidding. USPS.
Oh,
How that's the United States Postal Service, right?
Yeah.
You can't send a gun United States Postal Service. Am I wrong?
I beg to differ. Here's a gun coming.
I know. That's the big problem. That's why it's set in Ohio for 10 days.
Well,
There
I
you
mean,
go.
you ship anything.
Oh, anything. But
I mean, good grief.
I was sitting there during class though, right? And a lot of times I'll spend money before I have it in my hand. And so I'm sitting there in class and the law enforcement guy is up there doing his spiel. Stacy's here doing his thing. And I'm there going, I would really like a nice new trigger in this VV9. And what did I say the other day? It's going to take me like 4 months to buy this. I loaded up my shopping cart during class. And I looked over and I counted the people in class. I was like, 1, 2. I was like, it's still in the shopping cart. I have not hit the buy button
Haven't?
yet, but I probably will by tomorrow night. It takes me a little while. I got to let it stew for a little while. But I got a nice new trigger. It's red, by the way.
You'll get all tanked up on kombucha and you'll
Kombucha, yeah.
Yeah, I love
start
it.
ordering it.
I love that
favorite.
stuff. So I dug speaking of that, so we go everywhere in the show. I dug a kombucha out of the back of the fridge the other day. You could like chew it. I took a big old swallow of that and looked at my wife. She's like, you might not want to drink. I'm like, how come it's this thick, like pudding?
Oh. Gross.
I love my kombucha, but no, as soon as I get that gun, that red dot is going on it. I'm not going to wait to find one of those plates. I'm going to go have one machined, and we're going to get after it.
Okay.
Because I'm sick of waiting. 10 days was long enough. I can't wait anymore.
No.
Heck with the kids' Christmas presents. I'm buying a trigger. I'm buying...
You still Christmas shopping?
No, I don't do any of that. My wife does that. I'm kidding. I don't do none of that crap. You give money.
I give money.
That's the best Christmas present in the
That's
world.
nice.
Yeah.
I got about 90% of mine done today. Started today.
Started today.
And got it done in about 2 hours.
Very nice.
Amazon. I am so proud of myself.
I like it.
Just
I
a few
give-
stores I got to go to.
I just give cash. Here you go. Get what you want. Merry Christmas.
I want Tarver to be my dad.
Nice.
I gave usually
I want Tarver to be my daddy. That sounds wrong.
yeah. Don't say that, man. Don't say that. Well, never mind.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, when you have one kid, they usually get too much,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "You spend how much?" I'm like, "I didn't know that was bad."
Yeah, do you, man?
Yeah, I
Your
do
kid probably didn't complain at all.
Oh no! But then he starts expecting it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a little light this year. Get out of here! Get out of here!
Oh shoot.
But I got myself well, that was probably last Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. You've had that for a while. That was like midsummer.
Actually, this is the new one. So there you go.
Yeah, because the other one broke.
Yeah.
But so what's in the news? The ATF.
Okay.
The ATF is going everywhere. They are cracking down. They were doing the arm braces and stuff the other day, and now they're going after the 80% lowers.
They getting ready for Biden.
They are, and it's been told, they're getting ready for Biden. This is all planned out.
I'm still convinced that lady who called you about I need a throwdown gun or whatever she called it. That was a complete setup.
What kind of gun was that? What's she looking for?
What do you call it? It's a phone phrase. I don't know.
I can't even remember now.
I can't think of it.
A burner gun.
There you go.
She wanted a burner gun.
Burner gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So yeah, we had a
That
long.
doesn't sound good.
Yeah, we had a long conversation about that, and then I haven't heard back from her. So
I bet she's called a lot of people asking. I'll tell you, man, that's a setup.
it had to be because the way she was going about it, and the way she kept saying, "I don't want anyone to know I'm buying this. I don't want to buy it online. I don't want to buy." I'm like, "Don't call it."
Yeah, don't call me with that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pause the recording for a minute because we're done here. But yeah, you got to watch that ATF. They've been going to, I think it was down in place. I think the place was in Nevada. I could be wrong. They're going to these places that make these 80% lower kits, and they're going in and they're demanding they're who you sold these to. I think they might actually be taking their kits, like take them off the shelf. They're taking them or something. And they're demanding that they give them a list of who has purchased these. How they know, why they even have that info is beyond me. But it's almost like they're creating a registration.
Yeah, buy one in cash, people.
That's right. I've got. Never mind. Yeah. I'm burying stuff tomorrow.
One to carry, one to bury.
Exactly. That's it. So that's enough about me, but have you been up to anything Second Amendment related over there, sir? Anything at all?
It's too cold, man.
It's too cold.
It's cold. No, I'm neck deep in the election, man. It's a mess.
If you want to know anything about the election, you get a hold of the Cajun cowboy over here, and
it ain't over.
We'll feel.
But it ain't looking good.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
No, it's not.
No.
But it ain't over.
It's not over.
Not yet. We'll give it till Tuesday.
I'm giving it to January 20th.
Okay, January.
Until somebody swears in, it ain't over.
We'll see what happens. I mean, that's, and I have this conversation all the time with people on the radio show. I had it today in class, right? In fact, no one really came up and mentioned about what happened yesterday with the Supreme Court. I was found that a little odd.
A little disappointed.
Yeah, I wanted people
trying to hide their politics now.
They are a little bit, but people think that it's going to be overnight. They're going to take our guns overnight. They're not going to take our guns overnight. They're not.
They're setting it up right now.
They've been setting it up for years.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's coming faster.
These are radicals.
Yeah.
See, that's what you don't know. I'm not as scared of Biden as I am Harris. Mm-hmm. So Biden, when he kicks the bucket in 6 months, ooh.
I saw a meme. I saw like a meme on Facebook. And what are the name of the ice skaters? The one that beat the other one in the knees with the hammer.
Oh, Tanya Harding and Nancy Keegan.
And which is the one that used the hammer?
Tanya Harding's boyfriend did.
Yeah. Anyhow, they showed a picture of him. And they showed one skating behind the other, like looking at her knees. And the one that was standing there was Joe Biden, and the one skating by looking at the knees was Kamala Harris. Oh my gosh, it was kind of funny actually. It's going to happen.
Yeah, he's not long for this world. They're already starting to diminish him. They're already starting to talk trash about him.
Well, and they're ramping up.
They've turned.
Yeah,
they're turning.
And they're talking about taking out Senator Feinstein. She's senile, and it's like she's a prep. They're gonna move on her, and then he ain't long for this.
Well, and they're ramping up all the Hunter Biden stuff. So that disappeared for about a month, and now it's
come back.
Coming back in the last week and a half. And
after everybody certified their votes.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Go figure. That's
magical timing.
Yes.
Thank you, Bill Barr. Anyway.
And what about you? What have you done? Anything second? This used to be a regular part of our podcast. It kind of went away for a while. What have you done in the last, I don't know, you never been on the podcast before? This has been Second Amendment related.
Made my rounds, my ammo rounds, seeing who's got ammo, and I scored ammo.
How much did you score?
I just got 2 boxes, 100 rounds.
100 rounds, okay.
But I loved the price. So shout out to D&B.
That's right.
So
yep, they got a good price.
What's the price? Can we share this information?
Yes. Yeah, I got it $13.99 a box.
Okay, that's not bad.
Aluminum casing, but that's like the best price you're going to see anywhere right now.
I don't reload, so I don't care.
I've shot it out here, so that's fine.
Oh, it works. So I went and made my rounds this week as well, and I ended up with a total for the week, 400 rounds at 22 long rifle, and I got 300 rounds of 9mm. And then my big order came in, and I got a substantial amount sent to me.
Yeah, buddy.
And I'm going to go over there and count the bags because I left you guys in here
You
by
left us
yourself.
alone, so I might have.
That's right.
It's over there shining
Hit
so
a
much,
bag.
it looks like you have display lights on it. It's
I
like,
put it up there to show.
It's like,
That's
hello.
That's my Christmas. That's my Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm showing it off a little.
You know, the only ammo I purchased whenever this craziness started happening is a 500 round brick of suppressed 22.
Really?
I'm like, get it when it's here. Everything else I'm real good on. Of course, you always want more if I knew it was going to be this bad.
I'm really good on stuff too, but I always want more.
Yeah.
I always want
The
more.
I'm buying ammo for good prices, but the amount of money I'm spending every week in ammunition is insane. It's like, I go in, I'm not going to stop today. Todd, I'm not going to stop. You don't need it. You don't stop. And then I'm driving home and I just all of a sudden appear in the sporting goods store
car
parking lot.
just goes
It
right
does.
there. It does. I know. I have the same
'Cause
problem.
part of this little part of my brain is like, if you don't stop, you're going to miss out on a score.
You're gonna miss it.
You're going to miss
Mm-hmm.
out on a score. People are going to post on Facebook. You missed out on ammo. They had primers.
Truckloads.
Truckload sale. That's right. I'm serious.
When you got your 2 boxes, was that the last 2 or did they
no,
limit you?
I had to ask, so it was behind the counter.
Yeah.
So they said you can have 2 boxes. I said, yeah, I'll take it. How much? Well, then I said how much, and $13.90. Yeah, I'll take some.
I'll take as much. I did the same thing. I went in there and talked to Jerry, and I was like, I'll take as much as you want to give me. He goes, 2
Right.
boxes. I
Right.
said, oh, that works.
That'll
Now,
work.
where's your...
Go out in the parking lot, put on your fake mustache, and come back.
Come back.
in. Yeah. Then I was like, where's your 22 ammo at? And he goes, we got 22 mag and we got 22 long rifle. I said, I'll take 2 and 2. He goes, no, that's not the way it works at 22. I'm like, are you kidding me? Whatever. Just give me 2 boxes of 22 long rifle. So anyhow, I was pretty good on the ammo front this week. I'm happy.
I got to see what kind of 22. I got bricks and bricks and bricks, but they wouldn't feed in one of the guns I had. So they're just kind of sitting there.
I'll take it off your hands.
Yeah, I got like 5,000 rounds back in, I don't know,
And it won't go in any of your
7
gun-
years ago. I don't know. I got new guns since then. So I had to try it.
Oh,
Yeah. But I like shooting the suppressed.
yeah, that's cool. That is cool, shooting a suppressed.
It thuds on the wood. The thud on the wood's louder than the.
Than the actual gun cycling.
it's
Yeah,
nice.
it's crazy. Have you ever shot anything suppressed?
No.
Oh, it's fun.
But, yeah,
like no ear
I
protection,
want
just
to.
tink, tink, tink. I mean, it's it's pretty. So, if you come out to shoot, I'll make sure Tarver comes out too, or the Cajun Cowboy, and you can bring your.
I got 45 and 22.
Yeah, he can bring all his fun stuff.
Nice.
So you were
Yeah.
talking about buying another gun, that you saw one that you liked at the gun store.
Which one? Because there was 2.
Okay, well, let's talk.
Oh man, yeah, Springfield Armory, 9, an XDS.
Yes.
That's like,
She didn't buy it
That's
because
a
it
gun.
had the crappy red dot on it. That's what she said.
What kind of red that?
The Crimson Trace.
yeah.
Crimson Trace is crappy.
Well,
pretty high price.
I guess it was like Todd with the ammo, loading up his car, or not your ammo, but you were loading up your cart.
Yes.
It was like, okay, I'll think about this. Okay, it's Christmas.
Right.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas for me was back in October when I got 2 guns. And do I really need to do this right now? No,
Yes.
I don't really. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But then I went to go get ammo.
Yeah.
I was at D&B, and I was thinking everywhere when I've gone to make my ammo rounds, I find 10 mil ammo all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I need a 10.
She's thinking like, does this sound familiar to you?
So I was at D&B, and I was amazed how many guns they had in 10 mil.
Yeah.
And they had the XDM.
She was looking at my
So,
XDM that I talked about a
yes.
few weeks back.
Yeah. So I might have to go back.
She's going
What's
to
the
buy
price
it
on one of
out
those
from
things?
under me.
I know that's what I don't remember the price.
I think it was like, it's an XDM, and that one had the threaded barrel.
yeah.
I think it was like 6 something. I know when I bought
That's
mine
cheap.
When I bought, I think
Cheaper
that's
than I
what it
thought.
was. When I bought my 9mm XDM, Springfield Armory XDM, this is years ago, it was 6 something. I think the 10 mils are right around 6 something as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more because of that threaded barrel, but
I don't remember the price at all, but they have quite a few 10 mil guns.
She's going to send me a picture next week. Look what I bought.
I might have to stop there on Monday.
You're going to go get it, aren't you?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, after CrossFit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to make my rounds.
On Monday. When,
Do they have a limit on 10mm ammo?
That I don't know.
no,
Since everybody's got it.
if it is at DMB, if it is behind the counter, it's
There's
2
a limit.
boxes. If it's on the
If it's
open
on the shelf,
shelves, you can have
get
5.
5.
So there you go. That's your
There it
answer,
is.
sir. I know we're
I
a
don't
bunch
like
of
being limited to 5.
it's
can't
better.
I-
Been limited to you reload. You're limited to as much
Have
as you want to reload.
Have you ever just bought ammo even though you don't have the gun for the ammo? Because that's where I started going. Because I've been wanting a 10.
Are you buying ammo that you don't have a gun for?
Right. Well, I was
you
like,
already have 10mm
no,
ammo?
I might have a box. Yeah.
Okay.
I told you she's diehard.
Am I like crazy for doing that?
No.
No.
No, because go look at here. I just about ordered something today for a gun that's not even in my
Right. There you
possession
go. There
yet.
you go.
So it happens. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
I have a gun for every
He's got everything you might want.
just
and
about
then
every
some.
caliber.
Oh, nice.
So
Well, I stick to regular NATO calibers because they're always going to be the easiest to find ammunition in bulk. And when people get these odd calibers, I'm like, come on, man, you're making it hard on yourself. Because what are they going to do? All right, there's a big crunch. What are they going to put out first? 45, 9mm, 22, 225, 308, regular calibers. And the exotic stuff, yeah, that's always harder to find. So,
right, like 38 Super.
well, like 6.5 Creedmoor and stuff like that. And
gotcha.
6.5's picking up a lot of popularity, but I promise you they're going to make the 223 first.
Oh yeah,
They're going to churn those bad boys out because there's millions of people wanting them.
There's a guy I know that his name's Nathan, and he actually when I very first started Patriot Defense, so I never met this guy, but I had met him once, but before when I started this, I'd never met Nathan. I saw him on Facebook in some gun groups or something. I'm trying to think back; it was a long time ago, and I started Patriot Defense, and I started the Facebook page. And I needed another moderator for the Facebook page, right? Because that's what you do. You get a second moderator. So I sent him a message and said, hey, you want to be a moderator? I said, I'm coming back around. It's just a long way to get to my point here. And anyhow, so Nathan came down. I met him once. Anyhow, he posted the other day. He listens to the podcast and stuff. And we go back and forth. And he posted, he said, I played a dirty prank on my kid. He goes, I did. And he's pretty certain, but he doesn't know for certain, but he's pretty certain, he goes, that I bought him a rifle for Christmas. And it was a 6.5 Creedmoor. And he goes, so now my son's really excited. And now this was like 2 weeks ago. Now he's online trying to find 6.5 Creedmoor and he can't find it, any ammo. And it's driving him absolutely nuts. He goes, it's like it's like the best, worst joke ever.
Merry Christmas.
And then he texts me back and he goes, so my son remembered he has a 50-round box of a 9mm. And now he's trying to trade it for a box of Creedmoor.
Good luck. Nobody's giving up Creedmoor.
A 6.5 Creedmoor. He's like, do you have some Creedmoor? My son wants to know if you want to trade. I'm like, I don't have any Creedmoor. Poor kid. Oh. I hope they find some 6.5 for him. But I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, good luck. That's
Yeah.
a tough one. But you got you got so many different calibers. Now you got the 6.5 precision rifle cards. That's the one I'm like, well, they got the 300 precision rifle card. That's the one I was looking at. But those things, you should have 1,000 rounds stuck back already. Because if you don't,
you ain't finding any.
You ain't getting it. Nope.
Yeah, it's gone. You won't see that for quite a while because they aren't even. I mean, they're not making that stuff. Everything's going to the more popular calibers, the more common type calibers.
That's why I went with them.
You see lots of 9. We didn't see lots of 9, but when you see ammo, you see 9. 380, you can kind of find. 45, I see quite a bit of 45. I see 10. 40 cal, I don't see a lot of 40 cal show up. I see a few boxes every now and then, but I don't see a lot of it.
There's millions of 40 cal guns out there, though.
Yeah, there's millions of people who are wrong because they bought the 40 cal. But
if you don't have one, you should have one.
No, if you don't have one, you should buy a 10mm.
Yeah, you can get one of those too. I mean, once you start looking at bartering and everything, and the millions and millions, they had so many. Every federal agency, every police department was going 40. That's why I'm like, get a 40. It's a super common round now, and it's not going away.
Well, that's why when stuff goes bad, you're coming out here.
Yeah. Hell yeah, you got all these chickens. You don't eat them, man.
I don't, and I'm getting like a dozen eggs.
I meant to bring you egg crates.
Oh, leave them at CrossFit. I'll pick them up.
Okay.
Just leave them up there on the counter.
Okay,
I'll get them. So
I've been saving them for you.
I'm gonna have to hurry in before you get to the gun store and pick up that 10 millimeter before you buy it on Monday.
She said there was a stack of them though.
I know, but the one I want, she wants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
So I tell you what, it's not very often that we actually have a guest on the podcast, is it? It's
Not
usually
often.
just us. It's usually just
Not
our
too often I'm here anymore.
Yeah, I know. I'm always here, but it's not too often we have a guest on the podcast. And if we do have a guest, it's never a woman.
Not in this room.
This is kind of the man cave / war room.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you a sign. It says man cave.
Smells like feet.
It probably does. But no, we appreciate you coming on. But so you're into guns. I mean, you like guns, and you have spent, I'll kind of give it a preface. Okay. Is that cool?
Yeah,
We talked about this before. So what I wanted you to talk about, all kinds of stuff. There's, as a woman buying guns, going to the gun counter, how you've been treated, what you see, your process of learning stuff. Was it easy, hard, or people giving up information to you, and treating you seriously?
Right.
And then the fact that you've started this and you've been coming and taking it's almost like a class a month.
I was trying to do a class a month.
All summer long.
My goal.
And you've progressed quite a bit.
I love it.
And now you're actually going to participate and be an example in my women's class this coming. So actually we start in a couple months.
February. Yeah.
So I tell you what, tell us how you got into this. And go into as much detail or just you say what you're comfortable saying.
Okay. How about, we'll start at the beginning. Born and raised in Southern California, LA County. And
Strike one.
I know. Let's start it off.
Yeah, you lived that direction for a while, sir.
Yeah, I did. I like Cali. I was in the red part.
And that's the thing. I love California too. I think it's a beautiful state and it has so much to offer.
Such a shame.
And it's so sad. It makes me so sad. But anyways, born and raised Southern California, oldest of 4 kids, 3 younger brothers, only girl. Great childhood. My dad worked for Disney. I like to say I grew up at Disneyland, Dodger Stadium, and the beach. It was great. My brothers, I remember them getting some. I remember one brother getting a .22 at Christmas time. And I know that my dad, there was a gun range close by, and my dad would take my brothers out shooting. But I never went. I was never interested in this. Never interested. Moved to Idaho, got married, started a family, and then moved to Idaho. And it was, the city girl trying to live country life. And it was quite the change. It was, quite the change. So,
the food is different here.
Oh man, I miss the culture. I miss the culture of California. That is the one thing I do miss.
That's one thing, man. I don't care what. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract. But you would get that. You can find whatever type food you're looking for. You can go find authentic,
anything
fresh off the boat stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the one thing my husband and I were like, oh man, if we could get some of those restaurants. And,
we got Burger King. That's all.
Hey.
Yes, I know.
Hey, we've got fry sauce.
And steak and potato. Yes, and fry sauce.
Gotta love the fry sauce.
No.
Fry sauce is so good.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Fry sauce is ketchup.
And mayonnaise.
It's
good.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
So fast forward to a year ago. I have a friend, close friend, who had a very traumatic and violent attack. And it hit really close to home.
Yes. I won't go into it, but we actually talked about that on the podcast before I even knew you.
Yeah. Before.
Now this was local or where
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a good friend. And as we talked and cried together about what happened and what took place, I realized I'm not quite prepared. And then a week later, this town that I grew up in, my hometown, within a week of this event happening to my friend, a student at the high school brought a gun to school. And there was a high school shooting at my alma mater.
Right.
And some kids were killed and injured. And I grew up in a great town, and I was dealing with the situation with my friend, and then wondering, now here's my high school, and this happened, and I just thought, what is going on? What is the deal with these guns? And I realized that if I had been in my friend's situation, I didn't know what to do.
Right.
And if I was out in a public place, and there was an active shooter, I didn't know what to do. And so at the same time, my son was a senior in high school, and he was building an AR for his senior project.
That is awesome.
So he's an Idaho kid.
So yes. And so he's doing this project, and he's doing his research, right? And he's, at the dinner table, we're having these conversations about what the gun statistics are. Mm-hmm. And he's telling me these things, and I'm just like, that is not what the media is portraying. That is not what is out there, what you are hearing. And so anyways, I don't know how. I think I was at CrossFit. I was at the gym, and I think I was just talking to Henry about what had happened.
Right.
Like I was dealing with these things were going on, and he's like, you need to get your concealed carry. And I said, I've maybe shot a gun 10 times. Maybe. Right. I don't know anything. And now I'm going to take a class and get my concealed carry. I don't think so. He said, no, you need to do that, because that's like the perfect class to get you started. Right. And then started talking to more people, and someone said, you need to meet Todd. And
it's downhill.
Everyone. And I said, "Who's Todd? Who's Todd?" And it was at the time I think they had just put those pictures up. In the front of the gym, and your picture's up there, and they're like, "That's Todd. He's on the wall."
That's right.
Yeah, he's on the wall. It's like, I think I might have worked out with him one time.
I'm the quiet guy in the corner.
Yeah, you were super quiet at this class. Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know who you are, but we did the workout together. And anyways, we met, hooked up, and this friend of mine that had this happen, we decided we were going to all do this together, and came and took your concealed carry class. And
what was your first gun? What did you buy?
I'm trying to think of what you were even shooting that day.
I know what I shot. My first gun that I bought was a Sig Sauer SP 2022. And I believe that is their first polymer gun.
I don't know.
I'm not a Sig addict, so I don't know.
That was the one that I got that great deal on.
Okay.
So, anyways, that's the one I brought to the class. And that's the one I shot.
One quick, sorry, I don't mean to
Go ahead.
Take you off track, but these are the things that I'm curious about. Why did you purchase that? Was it just a good deal, or was it somebody recommended it, or?
So at the time, my husband
fell off a truck. And, hey, look at here! Look what we found.
Right. Well, that was kind of the situation. No, my husband at the time was looking for a 1911. Famous words here in the man cave, I think.
Yes.
He was looking for a 1911. So when I saw this gun, I thought it was a 1911 because it's hammered.
Sure.
But it's not. I now know. I'm like, oh man, why did you think that? But it's not a 1911. And my husband was looking for it, so I bought it as a Christmas gift for him.
Okay.
So.
And you ended up with it.
And he, he likes it, but I think, I took it. I got it back. So So I brought that's the gun I brought to the class, and I did the class that day.
Yeah.
And I remember like, at the first part of the class, the classroom portion, like the last little bit before you send us off to lunch.
We did the classroom portion here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was all the things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
All the things that scare you.
Kind of sometimes when I do the class and I send them off for lunch, I'm like, I wonder how when you're coming back.
Yes. Then we sat at lunch and we're like, oh man, are we okay? Are we going to do this? We're okay. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this.
You guys seriously thought about not coming back?
No,
Okay.
we knew we had to finish.
Yes.
We knew we had to do it.
Yeah.
So anyways, we did it. But it was a big class too. And it was over at the indoor range.
The indoor range on the other side of
Yes.
town, yes.
And so super loud. Yeah, and we all had the black lung afterwards.
For days you could
and black boogers.
You could taste it for 3 days afterwards.
Yeah. But after that class, Henry was there and he said, here, check these out. And Henry had brought more guns. And by the end of the class, I was like, man, this is kind of cool. This is really cool.
Yeah.
And Henry's showing me his guns and I was like, okay. He goes, okay, and when are we going to shoot again? And I was like, I don't know.
Baby steps, Henry.
Right. He goes, because you have to keep practicing this. This is not, you're not going to remember if you don't practice. You're not, that muscle memory. You're not going to know what to do. So I said, okay, all right, we'll do this, but give me some time. So sure enough, Henry showed up and we made a date and he came over to my house and I live out in the country and he just ran me through some drills and took his time, and just showed me a few things. And it's funny because I look back on those the videos that he took.
I saw the videos.
Yeah. Did you see them?
Yeah, I saw them.
I think I've shared them with you.
And at first I was like, I'll be honest with you. At first I was like, what the hell, Henry?
I know. Do you know how scared I was though? I was so nervous. I was really nervous about that.
Yeah.
And one of the other ladies that took the class, she was there too.
Okay.
And so we were just trying to shoot some more and learn more. And by the end of that one, I was like, oh yeah, I like this. I like this a lot.
So now that you got some time doing it, what is your gun now? Your go-to, gun, my baby.
Well, let's start first though. What guns do you want to talk about? Different guns that you have?
Okay.
Because you started with one, and now how many do you have?
I have 4 now.
They breed.
They do. So what do you?
Well, 4 total, including that SIG. Well, I got 2 SIGs.
So I want to answer Tarver's question.
Okay.
But what do you have now?
I have the SIG, the SP 2022.
Okay.
I have a SIG P365 XL. I've got a Canic TP9 SFX, and then I have my 1911. So
you got the 1911
and a
before
45.
her. Did you get the 1911 before your husband did?
Oh yeah, he doesn't have a 1911 yet. I got the 1911.
So now back to Tarver's question.
Yeah.
What's your go-to? What's
my 365 XL? That's my carry gun.
Just because it's easy, it's compact. It's a good little shooter too.
It's a good shooter for the size.
Right.
Being a woman, if I want to conceal carry, I feel like that gun is easy to do that with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it works well in workout pants.
Yeah, it does. We had to try that out, but
So you to that point, and then you decided what made you, because I remember you telling me a statement one time, and I don't know where it came from. We were doing something. You're like, so I don't want to compete necessarily, but I want to learn how to move while I'm shooting and holster stuff, and I want to be a professional, and I remember you.
I wanted to go fast.
Yeah, that's
right.
I want to go fast.
Yeah.
So what made you decide you wanted to keep? You just wanted to know more, or?
So in my head, the reason why I was learning this, it started off to know what to do. If I was ever in, again, that situation that my friend was in.
Right.
Or in a public situation with an active shooter, what am I going to do? Have a game plan, right? And then it just was like, it became fun.
Oh, yeah.
It became fun. And I was like, this is something I enjoy doing. My husband's always encouraged me to find hobbies. And so
She showed up at CrossFit the other
I'm
day.
using this as a
She showed up at CrossFit the other day and she goes, look what I bought. And I was expecting to see a gun. I bought 2 today.
I bought 2 guns that day. I was like, oh, I can't wait. I hope Todd's there.
Did you lose any of your California friends over this?
No. In fact,
They comment on everything.
yeah, a few of them have commented. But I still have family there.
Right.
And we've had some family parties and weddings and graduations and things this summer. And we always have a shootout afterwards now.
Okay.
And they brought their guns.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So have you wowed them with what you can do?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Have
They're
you?
like, holy cow, you do know what you're doing.
So you started off at the beginning of summer, and I'm not trying to steal your story,
Yeah,
but you started
no.
off at the beginning of summer. You took the concealed carry permit class,
Mm-hmm.
and then you came for let's go over the basics again. Let's get some one-on-one. Am I right?
Yeah. So and I was thinking about this today. We were quarantined
Yes.
and I'd had enough. I'd had enough. And I texted you and I'm like, I got to get a class in.
I got to do.
And so I met you here. And I remember when I first showed up, it was like, I just want to shoot my gun. I
Yeah.
just got to
Yeah.
shoot my gun. And then let's go over some basics and practice a few things.
Yeah.
Then we added, I think that's
fine-tuned.
when we were, I think that was the first class you had me, and I was real nervous about that, putting the gun on the target.
So we didn't go. We knew we talked about it. You wanted to do it like monthly, and you wanted to progress.
Stages. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I said, okay, we can do that. We'll see how each class goes, whether or not, that determines where we progress the next class.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that class where we fine-tuned the fundamentals and got you in there and got a little more one-on-one attention, I always gave you, and that's what I just do it in every class. If someone comes, I give you a little bit more. This is kind of a precursor to what is next.
Yeah.
And I had you get up close to the target. So it's different. We shoot relatively close anyway, but it's different when you're, 7 yards from the target. When I had you walk up there, pull your gun up and almost touch the target with it and said, okay, what I want you to do is start firing and back up while you're firing. Mm-hmm. When you're up close, that close, even to a cardboard target, that's a whole different ball game.
Right, that was nerve-wracking.
You get a whole different reaction. Everything's right there. You got that cardboard, so all that noise and back pressure and everything's coming back at you. And you were really nervous.
I was so nervous, especially when you said, okay, I want you to put your gun on the target.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I can't do that.
So you started kind of in the low ready, and then it was when I yelled gun or threat or go or whatever. I did, you extended the firearm out into the target, started pulling the triggers, you backed away and extended your arms at the same time.
Right.
And this is, and Jillyn's famous, and I'm probably butchering your name again, and I'm sorry. You're famous for, in every class, it's absolutely fantastic. You'll be nervous to do something. You'll get up there, you'll do it. And I'm like, well, how was that? Can I do that again?
Yeah.
Can I do that again?
Yeah. It's so funny when you say, okay, this is what I want you to do next.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do that.
You can.
Okay. And I've just learned, I try not to do that anymore.
Right.
I try to just say, okay, Todd knows. He knows where you're at, and trust him. And then
right.
Then I do it. And I was like, okay, we got to do that again.
Yeah. And so we did that. Then when you came back and we worked up to let's draw from a holster and let's draw and shoot. And we did that repeatedly for probably over, at least a couple hours, at least probably more than that. Then you went home and you practiced. Mm-hmm. And then we went from shooting to moving. And then I think we did another shooting to moving. And then we did a mag change.
Yes,
class.
Which I need to do another class.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm good with that.
I got to do another one of those classes because I need to practice that one.
It's just getting more and more fun every class you take, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
I've
and
used
the tap rack bang.
Yes, yeah, the malfunction drills. Yes,
I like that one. Yeah.
I've used
I gotta practice that.
you as an example in a lot of classes. When I talk to other women who want to do stuff, and I always have your video. See this? You want to do this? Because you've seen the videos. Did I?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh well, I'll show you some
No.
videos.
Okay.
What is that?
I have no idea.
Uh-oh.
So,
Yeah,
You got something in here.
wow. Sorry about that. So
anyway,
that's spooky. Okay.
have you ever, do you have one, or have you ever considered getting a mantis?
You've talked to me about that.
Yeah, and I don't think we could actually put one on the gun that you use.
Didn't you say
The
my Canic can? I know my Canic can.
Yeah, but that was
I
before
don't
your
know.
Canic. I
That
think.
was before my Canic
Yeah.
when you talked to me about the Mantis.
Yeah.
I do know my Canic. I can do that with.
What's
I don't
crazy
know.
is it's got holster drills, and I'm like, how are you going to get it in the holster with that mantis?
How do you do that?
I don't know. With the mantis on it,
Yeah.
it's not going to fit.
Special holster. I know someone that can
Yeah.
probably make you one just for a little nominal fee. So what have you so going out and you've essentially, you've taken the class and stuff, but when you go out and you go shopping or you
Yeah.
go look for guns or whatever, I mean, you've asked me questions, you've asked Henry questions,
Yep.
right? So
You and Henry are my go-tos. You've been my go-tos.
we like that.
I'm sure I've asked Henry the same question a few times
Right.
until I've actually it's in my head and I've learned
Right.
it and I know.
So what have you experienced? What's your take on being a female in the gun world? I mean, they're out there. In fact, there's so many more women actually bought firearms this year. Is absolutely amazing. I forget the number. It was this huge amount of women buying firearms. What have you experienced going to gun counters or finding stuff, or you finding stuff tailored to women? Do you find people taking you serious, not serious? I mean, what is your
So
take
I've had
on it?
everything.
Okay.
So when I first started, so this was before I took your concealed carry class.
And you don't have to name
No.
stores or businesses or
No.
anything. So
Yeah. So when I first, I knew I was taking your concealed carry class.
Uh-huh.
So my thought was, okay, I got to start looking for a gun. So let's go to a gun counter.
Sure.
So I went to the gun counter and I grabbed the gun and I didn't grab the gun correctly. And he immediately said, "Don't grab the gun like that. You can't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that."
Right.
I was like, uh-oh, okay.
Right.
And then I went and did your concealed carry class, and you and the guy that was working with me, which you've had here in your podcast before.
Mark or James?
James.
Magnum, yes.
James.
James was here earlier
He
today.
was the guy that was helping me
Okay, yeah.
during my class.
Okay.
But he said, "Why are you doing that?" And I said, "Well, I thought you can't." The guy at the gun counter told me I can't touch the gun like that. He goes, No, you need to, and it was with the,
How were you grabbing? You got to explain this.
so it was with the slide. And the other thing too, I'm a lefty.
Yes.
So I'm backwards.
That's been fun.
And this has been,
I'm teasing
I think I do fine, but
You do great. I'm teasing
so,
you.
and it's where when you marry the thumbs together
Yes.
with the slide,
Yes.
you don't want to let that slide pinch your thumbs or anything.
Sure.
And I don't remember how I grabbed the gun at the gun counter,
Okay.
but apparently he didn't like it. And so it was, don't do that. And then it screwed me up when I went to take your class.
Gotcha.
So I had to rethink that one through.
So are you left eye dominant? Or do you have
Yes.
the cross? Okay.
Yes, I am left eye dominant, which
Just curious.
I have found out my father is too.
Okay.
A righty, but left eye dominant and shoots left-handed. So
Okay.
there's I know.
Interesting.
So then I went to another gun counter,
Uh-huh.
and by this time I'd taken the class. And this is what's so funny is I'll say to my husband, I'm like, "Let's go gun shopping today. You want to go to the gun stores?" He goes, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "What else are we gonna do? It was in the middle of winter last year.
Sure.
It was cold. I'm like, let's just go look. And so
It's awesome.
he goes, "Okay, fine." And so we go in there, and he just it's funny because he just walks away. He'll just go somewhere in the store, and I go right to the counter, and he's just watching, and I'm at this
From
one,
afar.
yeah, and that one gun counter. After that happened, where the guy's like, "Don't do that," I'm like, "We got to get out of here. Let's go." That
ruins you for that store forever.
It does.
It's like not coming back.
Yeah. And so I went to this other store and went right to the counter. And, by this time I had narrowed down a few guns that I was looking for. The SIG 365. And then that's the one I was looking for at that time. And they didn't have it, but he goes, "Oh, we have the Hellcat." And I said, "I don't really want the Hellcat." And he grabs me shows me the Hellcat, and he sees that I'm lefty.
Right.
And he goes, "Are you left-handed?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You need this gun then. You need the VP9. And I said, because it's the ambidextrous mag release.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you just blew my mind." Why has no one ever showed me this before? Like, I've gone to gun counters and no one has ever.
He was truly helping you.
He was helping me.
Instead of talking at you, he was talking with you.
Yes.
Right.
But you didn't purchase it.
They didn't have one.
Okay.
They had the full size, which I think is what you have.
Yeah.
And I was wanting something, compact, something to conceal.
Pretty large. That compact is still pretty large.
Yeah.
How many rounds
it's thick. I don't even know, because I looked at when I was going to get it. I was going to get it, but I'm not worried about the grip. I mean, I can conceal it, so I didn't even look that much further. But it's wide, it's thick. It's still hefty. It's a hefty gun.
It's still a heftier gun, I think. But it still blew my mind. He was helping me. And by that time, and I told him, I'm like, "Holy cow, why has no one ever showed me this before?" I come to these gun counters and they all just look at me like, "Oh, you're a lefty? Too bad."
You need a revolver.
Yeah. So by that time, a couple other guys had come over, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, you need this, or are you shooting, or what are you doing?" And giving me pointers and just being helpful.
Right.
And so I walked out of that gun store with a great big old smile on my face, and my husband's like, "Are you happy now?" Yes, that was great. And so, yeah, I've just gone to different counters. Probably the best, when I knew I had made it at the gun counter.
You have been accepted.
This is a great story.
This was so awesome.
And your daughter was with you too, right?
My daughter, yes, it was this one. Yes, my daughter was with me. Oh, here's I have to tell you another one, but my daughter was with me at this one. And I said, I was looking for a 1911, and there was a Dan Wesson 1911. I'm like, "Oh."
She knows her stuff, man.
I gotta hold that gun, right? So, so I said, "Can I see that one?" And so he takes it out and he says, "Okay." He drops the mag. He goes, "This is what's called the magazine. And you can see that there are no bullets in the magazine. It's an empty magazine." And puts it on the. And then he racks the slide and he goes, "And then do you see this little hole right here? This is where the bullet will go through. And you can see there's no bullet in here." By this time, I'm just like, "It's a Dan Wesson. Give me the damn gun. Give me the gun." I want to put that gun in my hand. And so he finally lets me hold the gun. And I, rack it, pull the trigger. And he's like, "Are you ex-military?" And I said, "Yes, I made it." And I said, "No, I'm not." He goes, "You know your guns." I said, "Yes, I do. I know my guns. This is a new hobby of mine that, I've been," and my daughter was right there and she watched the whole thing. And we left that store and she goes, "Mom, you owned that guy."
Does your daughter have an interest in guns now?
No, no, she doesn't. Nope.
Maybe as she gets older.
Maybe. My sons do.
Oh, yeah.
My sons, yeah. The one, he built his AR for his senior project.
Well, the offer is still on the table. If she decides she is, let me know. Bring her over here and you come and we'll
Dump
put her
the
to the...
bucket.
Yeah.
What?
Dump the bucket. Here you go. Pick one.
Yeah.
Start playing with it.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I hope she changes her mind.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So treated fairly at the gun counter now.
So I feel like I'm okay. And the place that I bought my 2 guns, my last 2 guns that I got, they were awesome too.
Right.
They're like, well, first of all, I was looking at, I think they had a CZ. So
Those are nice little guns.
I was looking at that one, and then
They're nice handguns.
I got one.
and then
Of course you do.
You want it? I'll sell it.
Oh,
I
I'll
had
take it off your
been
hands.
starting to go into this canic world.
There you
And
go.
my
You
son-
have gone into the right,
right,
world.
right. My son had just bought a canic, and I was like, "That is a really nice gun. I like that gun." Shot his gun, and so I'm like, "Oh, I need to think about canic," and they had a lot of canics. So I looked at the CZs, and I was like, "Okay, now we'll come over here. Okay, now I got to see the canics," and they're like, "Okay, now you're talking our language. Now, what do you want to know?"
Best gun for the dollar.
Yes,
One of the best guns. I don't
been
know if there's a gun better anyway.
I have been so impressed with my canic. I really like my canic.
You got the big running gun.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, you got the, well, I don't even know what you call it. You got the big charging handle that comes with it. So screws into the side of it.
I don't think so. Do I?
Yeah, should.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I didn't look in your box, it may have been just you added on. I don't know.
Okay.
All I know is the day you bought that in your 1911,
Yeah.
I get a call from you and Henry. We're going to come out and shoot.
Yes.
Okay, hurry up. Just come on out.
Yeah.
I'm standing there. They got new toys. I'm standing there going, oh.
Poor Todd.
I don't have any new toys.
Henry had just, he
Yeah.
had a new one, and then I got my 2 new ones, and it was like, we got to go to Todd's. Let's go.
Yeah.
They even make an elite compact now. If
Do
you've
they
seen it.
really?
Yeah, for the canic.
With that really awesome trigger.
Yeah. Not the flat trigger, but it's the elite. So you got the regular size carry.
Right.
I think it's cheap, but now they have a compact where they shave off. It's still thick, but they shave off the handle.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Nice.
It's too short. I don't like my hand hanging off.
Yeah, I don't either.
How many, what does it hold?
I don't remember.
Oh,
I don't know. Probably 12, 13, something
Yeah.
like that. I mean, still, it's double stack 9, so they can get a lot in there.
right.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. What are your goals moving forward with this?
So just moving forward, I just want to keep learning.
Sure.
Education is power, right?
Yeah.
And the more I learn, the better I get, and the more I practice, the better I get. So that muscle memory,
Yeah.
we talk about that all the time.
Yeah, and we haven't pulled out the shot timer yet. We're about ready to amp this thing up.
That I can't wait.
See, and so what's perfect about you is you go out and you are so set on doing it correctly and just like learning it. Like you don't mess around. I show her something and she's like, okay, let me do it again. Okay, let me do it again.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Now slow me down. Now record me. Play it back so I can see what I'm doing in slow motion. And we do all that.
Yeah.
And you have to have it down. And I love that.
So, and I think people, like, it's a gun.
Yeah.
Like, this is serious. This is not something that we
Right.
just play around with. And so in my head, I'm thinking I need to take this seriously, and I need to
Sure.
do this correctly so that there's no injuries.
Oh yeah. So what would you because when you're gonna do this class with me, and you're gonna
Yeah.
be like on these ladies that are taking they can shoot and stuff, but some of them haven't drawn from a holster and they need to learn all that. What would you tell women going forward who had an interest in firearms or wanted to move forward? What piece of advice? I mean, how would you encourage them, or what would you say to them?
Have an open mind,
Okay.
and then have a goal.
Okay.
Like what do you want to do with this?
Right.
And and they say this in CrossFit all the time, but what's your why?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you want to learn this? Is it just because it's the popular thing to do right now? Everyone's
Right.
buying guns. Ammo is short. You can't find it.
Right.
These things. Is it just, are you buying into that craze, or what is your reason for doing it? And yeah, have a goal in mind. Where do you want to go with this? Like, where do you see yourself ending up? Like,
Right.
how do you know that, okay, now I know what I'm doing, you know?
And I'm just going to put a little thing out there for the guys. We're not all like that. We don't. I mean, you went to a few gun stores until you found one that treated you.
Yeah.
We're not all like that.
No.
But they're out there. Those people are out there.
Yeah.
I'm not characterizing.
And
gun.
they get jaded because they go through that all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'm sure like there are people that don't know what they're doing,
Right.
you know? And granted, I didn't know what I was doing either. And, you know, they're just trying to be helpful and
Don't
and
get
that.
discouraged, ladies.
No, don't
Yeah.
and don't get discouraged. That's huge.
Yeah, find someone, if you know someone that shoots firearms, find someone to go with, talk to them,
Yep.
learn that way, and then kind of move on and go seek other training and other firearms and ask questions.
Right.
Because there's a lot. I would help anyone if they would just ask me questions.
Right. So, and I ask, poor Henry and poor Todd.
That's okay.
I would text you guys all the time, asking you questions. And, you know, I'm sure, like I said, I've asked the same question over and over, but just trying to learn it.
Right.
So that I understand.
Sure.
For me, if I understand, you know, the behind the scenes part of it, then I understand why we do it.
Right.
You know.
How hard is it to find somebody without the ego that will talk down to you? And
Right.
I
right.
mean, if you're local, you come see Todd. But how much of that have you run into where it's
A lot.
Okay, that's what I thought.
A lot.
Like the
it's
machismo,
unfortunate.
let me show you, let me tell you,
Right.
that kind of thing.
And so I think that's where this. I knew. Well, I had met you at the gym, but I knew Henry.
Sure.
You know, and
He coached your class.
He coached my class. He coaches me with a barbell. He, you know, that communication, that
line was already open.
right, that was already open for me to understand where
Sure.
he was coming from, and that trust that I had to ask him. You know, I knew how he would respond, and as I got to know you, I was like, okay. I'm in the same situation. I can ask you these questions and I can,
Right.
you know, open up or, you know, trust you with maybe what you might think is a stupid question, but,
No stupid questions.
right. So see,
Yeah.
that's just it. And
You'll never know if you don't ask.
Yeah.
and that's the thing. It's
And
like,
people don't, for some reason, they don't give up information. They assess you at this is where you're at, and they'll tell you, here, buy this gun or buy that. And it's like, why? And then if
Right.
they start talking trigger reset or something, and you look confused, they dismiss
what the
you.
hell is trigger reset?
Yeah, it's like, oh, this
Yeah.
person. So
Yeah.
you see a lot of that.
Yeah, and sometimes people will throw that in to beginners, right?
Right.
Because they want to, this is what I know. Let me
Yeah.
tell you about.
Yeah,
And
and
it's like,
that's-
that's way
yeah.
too far too fast.
Yep.
So I'm really reserved to a certain extent when I, and you've seen it, you've taken
Right.
a class.
Right.
You don't lord it over people.
Right.
You bring people, you find people where they at and bring them up.
Right.
A lot of the community will find people that aren't up to where they're at, and
and then they
dismiss them.
squash them
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it can be discouraging.
Yeah, don't let them discourage you.
No,
Yeah.
and don't let them discourage you. The other thing too, this is something like you just have to know if the guns will talk to you when you put them in your hand.
Mechanic sung opera to him.
And that is like, if it feels good in your hand, that's probably a good gun to buy. And that
I
is
love it.
like, you need to think about that one if it feels okay.
You're over there going, what
Yeah.
do you say?
Yeah.
You want to come home with me?
Yeah, they'll start talking to you. So yeah.
They all talk to me. They say,
I-
buy me.
They don't all talk to me, but
They
yeah.
all talk to me.
The gun will choose you.
Yeah.
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 It is. I mean, Canic. I love my VP9. You couldn't pry that thing out of my hand. I absolutely love that gun. In fact, so much I just bought another one, which is weird. And then you've got whatever talks to you.
Yeah.
I
so
get it.
Sig will always talk to me.
Yes.
But Canic is right there too right now. So, but your VP9, Well,
love
you've
that
done
gun.
things to your VP9, so
Yeah, I love
it
that
doesn't.
gun.
I know.
I love it.
I know. So Walthers are pretty nice too. I have.
Yeah. I'm not.
kinda-
I'm not. They're okay. I don't know that I'm a huge. They just feel.
You shot the PPQ.
Yeah, I know, but they don't talk
I don't
to
think
me.
you like the grip.
I don't. Yeah, I think that's.
Oh,
what
you
I do.
don't like the grip?
No, I
That
don't
is
think
one
I
of the
do.
things I
Kinda
love
big.
about a Walther.
It just there's something. It
That
just didn't.
PPQ's
I
pretty wide.
Yeah,
even Henry's got a Walther.
Right.
And it's okay, but it's just not my. It's just I don't know. It just doesn't speak. Doesn't sing to me. Doesn't talk to me.
Right.
Doesn't,
So there you go.
there's no opera with that.
Well,
There
what's
you
that
go.
gun you was just saying was a good gun? I said I got one. I'll sell it.
Oh, the CZ.
CZ. Everybody
CZ.
loves CZ. CZ's a good shooter. It pinches my finger. I don't like it.
Well, that's just the way it is.
It's
And
like, no,
I get people
disqualified.
ask me all the time, well, what gun would you recommend? In fact, there's a gal in the class today. She's great. She goes,
Right.
I don't really know where to start. She shot a couple of guns that I had. She goes, so if you were to recommend a gun for me, what would you recommend? I was like, I don't know. I can point you in the right
Right.
direction, but I'm not going to tell you until you shoot it and decide that you like it. I'm not going to say that this gun is for you.
That's why I wanted to know what her first gun was and what she's carrying now. What's your gun now that because at first you
Evolve.
get a gun
Yeah.
and then later on you'll find this is the one.
yeah.
This one feels good.
You went on
It'll
it.
change.
You had quite the search for a while there.
Yeah. So
I was
what do
purchasing
you?
everything.
What do you have?
I'm
you
a
have-
mechanic man,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I got
What's your everyday carry?
a shield.
Really?
Yeah. It's a truck gun. It's got a safety, and I can bounce it around,
Right.
throw it around,
Okay.
so I don't care. So it's kind of always with me, and if I lose it, well, I won't lose it. But if I beat it up, I don't care.
Yeah.
But good grief, when he found the canic, the angels sang down
Right?
from a high.
Right.
Then I started buying. I bought the cheap one. I'm like, for that price, it was like $200.
We're going to
$250.
war. Get him while you
Right.
can.
Give me one. I'll just.
That's all I heard. We're going to war. Get him while you can. Bye.
It was a real possibility.
It was.
And then I got the FSX or SF. I don't know.
Oh,
And then I got the Elite Professional
Yeah.
Executive. And then I'm like, get another one. So I got one that's never come out the box.
Really?
Yeah. So it's.
Man, we gotta have a shooting party.
One is
You need to bring that gun.
one is none. Two is one is none. Two is one.
Yeah. One to bear, one to carry.
We'll do that when the weather gets a little.
Yeah, we gotta
we're
get it warmer.
Let's get a little warmer, and we'll come out. We'll shoot, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
We'll enjoy it.
Brent
Yeah.
says I got a truck gun and a gas station gun. I tell you what,
Hey,
I've
Gas.
heard about your gas station gun.
if you want a tough gun,
That is crazy.
you
yeah,
can.
what is that?
It's
gas
a
station gun?
Ruger. What is it? P95.
Yeah. Yes.
It's old.
45.
Yeah.
You still have it?
Yeah.
You do.
Oh, you brought it. I remember. Yeah, you brought it.
You can't sell it. It ain't worth nothing.
It's like the thing weighs like 900 pounds.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
you could block a truck up with it
when did you get that gun?
at the gas station.
15.
No, I know you got it at the gas
17
station.
years ago,
Really?
18 years ago, something like that. Yeah.
Oh
I
man.
had a nice collection. I sold them all, got rid of them all, sold them cheap. Had a nice setup. I wish I'd have kept them.
Yeah.
And then I decided to move to California, and I'm driving, got the U-Haul behind me, stop, I'm like, get gas. I'm like, oh crap, that's a long trip. Maybe I should get a gun. And there they were.
At the gas station.
At the gas station.
Yeah, they had a glass display with
Okay,
the
not
wheel
at the gas
bottom.
station in California.
No, in
No.
Louisiana.
Okay. Okay. I'm like,
Louisiana's got some odd little setups though down there.
Yeah, you can get some crawfish
probably.
and a gun.
Yeah, it's
and
like
gas.
crawfish and guns, right?
I picked up a Ruger and some
some
crawfish,
crawfish.
and 5 gallons unleaded.
Probably some live bait in there too. They just got that. That's the stuff they do. But it was cool because it had this big plastic display, with the wheel at the bottom that you spin them, and it was full of guns.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, give me that one.
Oh my.
Box of ammo. I'm like, all right, here you go.
I'm set for my cross country road trip.
There you go. There you go.
That's
Speaking of cross country road trip,
uh-huh.
I just made a trip and brought my gun with me.
Where'd you go?
Well, just down to Utah, but I
Feels
still,
good, though, doesn't it?
It was like, oh my gosh, I got a secret.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, yeah.
So how long have you been carrying?
Okay, so here's the thing.
I'm wondering if you got to the point where you feel it's like I left my cell phone. Oh, I got to go back home and get my gun.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm there now.
Okay.
I'm there now. I don't know if you know this or not. I
I'm
know Henry knows.
fixing to find out.
And this is what's funny is I'll tell you something and then you're like, did you tell Henry? And then I'll tell Henry something and he's like, did you tell Todd? But I actually just got my concealed carry license. Like, I haven't told you. Surprise.
What? Hey, you do you, man.
I know. So and that's the other thing. I don't think, so you go get your license, right?
Right.
Does that mean you're going to go carry your gun now? Like you're legit?
Some people it
For
doesn't.
me, I had to, like, the reason I'm going to carry a gun is to protect myself.
Right.
And if I'm going to pull my gun, like, I hope I never, ever have to pull my gun.
Right.
I don't ever want to do that. But that's not an easy decision to make, you know? And so that was something I had to think about and have plenty of discussions with. I think I've talked about it with you. I've talked about it with Henry. I talked about it with my husband. You know, carrying your gun, and are you ready to do this if you have to?
Right.
And so I it was just like getting mentally okay with it.
You had to get prepared.
Yeah. Well, and then, so I took the class like in January, February, I think. Well, then COVID happened. And
Sure.
so DMV and all of that was closed up. But when I finally decided I was okay with it, well, it was the election.
Yeah.
And I'm like, uh-oh, I better go do this before I lose it. And I was ready to.
Right.
I was ready to.
Well, you know, I commend you because I think, you waited till you were mentally prepared, till you felt like you could handle the gun, handle yourself, and do it safely if you had to use it. I think that's the responsible thing to do, honestly.
Well, and I had a kind of a different situation happen.
Right.
And I think it just heightens your situational awareness.
You just had another eye opener.
I had another eye opener that I was like, uh-oh. Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha.
Okay.
When you first started carrying, did you feel like you were doing something illegal?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna get caught.
So that was just it.
Packing heat. Oh no.
When we went out of town, we had to make a stop here or there.
Right.
And sometimes the restrooms, just the state restrooms or what? Oh,
Yeah.
the
rest areas.
the rest areas. Yeah.
Those are bad places.
right.
Yeah.
So my husband's like,
One way in, one way out.
right.
Seen some shady
Right.
stuff around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So my husband's like, you got your gun on you? Yeah. Okay. You're okay.
So and you don't have to answer this because sometimes it's kind of a private thing, but as a woman, it's a little different for you to conceal carry again.
Right. It's not always easy.
It's not always easy. So I can't remember. Did you figure out if you came up with a holster, obviously?
Yeah, I have a holster.
Can you tell us
but
what
yeah,
it
I
is?
need a new wardrobe now. So
Yeah. So are you carrying in the waistband?
appendix carry.
Oh, that's right. I knew
Yeah.
that. Why didn't, man, I knew that.
So that
because
means-
I trained her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have picked up on that. At some point.
I see a lot of people.
I know. But appendix carry, that's how
That's
I'm
right.
training. So that's how
And you're comfortable with the appendix carry, obviously, and it all works for you.
it's working for me.
It's pretty fast.
Had to, buy some new jeans and
Right.
new wardrobe.
And
And
it's the way
it's
it
winter
works.
time, and I'm finding it a lot easier to conceal.
Yes,
So
wintertime is great.
That's awesome.
Big heavy coats.
You can carry the deagle.
Yeah. So that is new belts because
Belts with a purpose.
yeah
Strong
belts
belts.
with a purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, because the belts I had were not to hold a gun.
A fashion statement.
They were for fashion. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, fantastic. Any last words here before anything?
Nope.
Okay, well, I
don't have
appreciate you
anything.
coming on. I thought it was great. It's
Yeah.
better than our normal shows.
What do you mean? Because I'm over here being quiet?
No. No, I really enjoyed you on here, and I think this would be great. Hopefully, I'm sure we have. I don't know. I know people subscribe to this. I don't know if they're male or female. I have no idea, but hopefully, you've opened some people's eyes, and maybe some men will maybe share it with their wives, and open the door even more for women to feel confident to come out and do this.
It's so empowering. I think, after the first couple of classes and learning about this, it's really empowering to say, oh yeah, I can do that.
If you get training and get good at it, it's a confidence that you feel like I'm comfortable in any situation.
Right.
And it's not, you don't walk around fearful, but you can walk around and be fearful of situations. And once you've got your training and got your smoke wagon, you're like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, and that was my whole purpose.
Yeah.
That was my whole purpose. Going back to why I did this.
Sure.
The two situations that had hit me the hardest at that time, those were pretty traumatic things.
Right.
And, I realized I didn't know nothing.
You wanted to try to get prepared as much as you could for one of these things if it were to ever happen, and you feel a little more confident, a lot more confident.
And then in today's day and age,
oh yeah,
you don't know what's going to happen.
Just wait till the summer when we break out the Sims rounds and you get to shoot me with Sims rounds.
I
actually
was going to talk to you about that. Okay. I was like, that's down the road. Yeah, I've already thought about that.
Well, that class year, the women's group you're part of this summer, they get to shoot at me. And Mark.
Oh, nice.
In the face.
I'll be wearing a shield, trust me.
So did your friend take the trip with you into the gun world?
No.
She didn't?
No.
Okay.
No.
Why? Did she just feel
I'm
like?
I'm not sure.
Still working on her a little bit.
Still working on it.
She knows where she can come.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she does. Yep. So
perfect. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It made for a little different podcast than what we usually do. I really love it. I want to get more guests in here, and you'll have to come back again. Maybe we'll get you and some of the other ladies from the women's group this summer to come back in. That would be fantastic to watch everyone improve and get some more women to come in here and kind of tell their stories.
Yeah,
I'd appreciate that. But anything else you want to add before we sign off here?
Yes, we have more podcast gear. And we will be doing a supplemental to mine as soon as we turn off. So
we're going to do them at the same time.
Oh, yes.
Tune in.
Yes, tune in. And what is the podcast name and where can they find it?
Forgotten American everywhere. You can find it everywhere.
There's Forgotten Americans everywhere?
It's Forgotten American Podcast everywhere.
Yeah, I'm giving you a hard time. Subscribe to that one. Share it with your friends and family. It's Christmas time, so you might be traveling. You got time to listen to this stuff. And I will be on the next one. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, recording in just a few minutes.
In just a few moments. So again, thanks for listening. If you do listen to the Patriot Defense Podcast, share it with your friends, share it with your family. You can find us on, you know where to find us, right? But you can find us on the Spotify, Stitcher, whatever. You can also, if you're not familiar with it, we do have a YouTube channel. You can find it under the Patriot Defense YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that if you want to see our wonderful faces. We have faces for podcast, Tarver, you and me.
That's what they keep telling me.
That's right. So share it with your friends, share it with your family. Make sure you subscribe. If you got any comments, if you got any stories, if you want to be on the podcast, and we actually have a listener, we threw it up last episode, that if you have any stories, you want to talk to us about your journey into the world of firearms or anything like that, to get a hold of us. Jillyn was able to come in because she lives local, but we have coming up next weekend, we have a listener from New York coming in. He's behind enemy lines, and he's going to call in and tell us
deep behind enemy lines. That's where it's in California.
Yeah,
nice.
He's going to come in and tell us his story. He just got into firearms, and he's been taking like a class a month.
Is he still in New York?
He's still in New York. In fact, today you were coming on, so he couldn't come on, but he said that was okay because he was going to take a carbine class today. So he is taking class after class after class, and we
learning.
Yep, we look forward to hearing from him. But you can call me, you can text me if you want to get on the air, have a comment or something. Area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. Thanks for listening, and we will see you guys next weekend. Bye.
Thanks, James.
Bye.